Hello, and welcome to entry number one, episode number one of what we're calling TDL Stickies. My name is Jamie DeGrazio, and the plan here is really just to do little micro video blogs on Apple-related news or technology-related news. So this is the first entry, and we'll see how it goes. WWDC starts in 2 weeks, but by the time this video is posted online, E3 should have started, which is the Electronic Entertainment Expo, and that's the big video game expo, where companies like Microsoft and Nintendo and Sony show their wares for the upcoming year and the following year, the big games and hardware releases. So, how does this relate to Apple? Well, Apple is now in the video game business with the iPhone and the iPod Touch, and most importantly because of the App Store. And a few months ago, there was a game developers conference that was held, and the talk of that conference was basically the iPhone and the App Store. And a lot of that excitement is based on the way the games are distributed on the iPod. There's no more retail has been cut out. Basically, obviously the games are all distributed digitally, and that's great for developers because one, it eliminates piracy. It eliminates the used game market, which is a big topic right now. And so now with E3 coming up, it'll be interesting to see if all that talk from the Game Developers Conference has generated any fruit. If there's any large or exciting iPod and iPhone games that will be announced this week. Certainly, the iPod and the iPhone has a ton of games, and if you look and see what the best-selling apps on the App Store are, the majority of them are games. But I mean, personally, being somebody who games a lot on consoles, I haven't really found a game yet on the App Store that has really struck me and made me want to play games on my iPhone. I'm hoping that changes soon. What I would like to see is if some of the more popular franchises that are on consoles can somehow be brought over to the iPhone, but not in a way where it's trying to be the console version, but maybe can somehow complement the console version. So, like, what I'm thinking is maybe if there's a new Call of Duty game coming out on the Xbox and the PlayStation, if there was somehow a stripped down iPhone version that can somehow tie back into the console version, maybe you can unlock things on your iPhone that later show up in the game. I'm not sure, but I mean that's the kind of things I'm looking forward in terms of the iPhone this week. That might be a little pie in the sky dream. We might not see anything like that. I'm sure we'll see some game announcements. They'll probably be still geared towards the casual market. This pick up and play games, which have sold rather well on the iPhone and the iPod. But I mean, regardless of games announced for the iPhone, Apple's already indirectly affected some E3 announcements. There's a new Sony PSP called the PSP Go, which is already leaked out. And much like the iPhone, it's all digital in terms of how the games are distributed. No more UMD disc. Basically, everything's downloaded from a Sony App Store. And they're supposedly also going to have music and videos that you can download straight to the PSP, very similar to the iPhone and the iPod. This is something that Nintendo themselves did a few months back when they released the new DSi. You can now download Nintendo games directly to the DSi, bypassing actually having to go to the store and purchase a cart. So you can see that Apple's already affecting the way, the games industry. And you can only imagine going forward, you're going to start seeing more and more console games, full retail games, distributed via digital download, bypassing the need of going to a GameStop or Best Buy and purchasing a disc. Not to be outdone by Sony, Microsoft should be showing off the Zune HD, which also leaked this past week. And much like the iPod and the iPhone, it has its integrated application store. I think they're calling it the Marketplace. Interesting. They're going to demo how it ties into the Xbox. Finally, you'll be able to somehow sync media across the device from your Xbox, whether that's just movies or if that's music as well. I mean, you could see down the road Microsoft allowing a way where you almost bypass your PC and you could sync your Zune HD with your Xbox. You know, there's a video subscription service, a music subscription service. Why do I need my PC? Why can't I just sync it with the Xbox? And it'll be interesting because that could be something that Apple themselves could do with the Apple TV, and the Apple TV has sort of lingered in this sort of no man's land of what is it really, and it hasn't really caught on. And certainly, maybe by adding a subscription model to it, maybe finally adding games to the Apple TV and repackaging it with some sort of controller that you could, in a way, you could compete with. I mean, you might not be able to compete with devices like the PlayStation or the PS3, but certainly with devices like the Wii, which we have seen attract a lot of people who don't even consider themselves video gamers. So it'd be interesting. I mean, I honestly don't think any of us expect announcements like that this week. You know, if anything, that would be saved for WWDC in 2 weeks. I mean, Apple's not going to have a presence at E3, but you know, that would be something going forward that certainly I would like to see. I mean, even though I'm not a Wii gamer and I don't play casual games, certainly competition's good, and if there's someone there to push Nintendo, I think it's just good for the industry in general. So stay tuned to thedigital-lifestyle.tv this week. We should have some coverage hopefully on E3, and certainly the following week we'll be touching a lot on WWDC. And if you have any feedback on the video blog, let us know. Again, it's episode 1, and hopefully it'll be episode 2.